of Mimas as a liaison for the Earth Embassy, working with many alien races.
Jean-Charles Moyen, Franco-American SSP, aboard the Solaris spaceship, a part of the Solar Warden. My mission, protection and rescue slaves on other planets.
Rebecca Rose, Psychic Super Soldier, Moon, Mars, Kuiper Belt, and beyond.
Namaste. I'm Yana Prakash. I am a multidimensional healer, work directly with the Andromeda Council, and infinite creation through the oneness with all that it is.
We know if you won't tell them the truth, we will. Hi, I'm James Rink, founder of the Super Soldier Talk podcast, Healing Soul Survivors 501c3, and now the Super Soldier Activation Conference. Since 2010, I have dedicated myself to documenting the untold stories of the secret space program. I have brought awareness of my labs, also known as military abductions, MK Ultra, Monarch, and Montauk programming. Join us for the 2025 Super Soldier Activation Conference in Orlando, Florida, from October 8th to the 12th. Experience 4 days of groundbreaking discussions with over 25 courageous secret space program veterans. Choose General Admission, VIP Silver, or VIP Gold tickets on your journey into hidden truths. Secure your spot now at supersoldiercon.com.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition here of the Super Soldier Activation Conference. We're just doing these short videos over the next month or two or so to give everybody a little demonstration of what everybody's going to be speaking of. So it'll be like a short summary. Yeah, you got it. Can you click on mute? Keep getting. Okay. Audience members, thank you also for joining us today. We have Miles Johnston with us today. So Miles is from Belfast. That's in Ireland.
James
Yes.
Frank, are going to stop you there. It's called
What's
the
up?
big city of Belfast. That's what we say in Belfast, the big city of Belfast.
The big city of Belfast. And that's in Ireland too, right, Miles? For people
It's in the north of Ireland.
Okay. So you are Irish, so genuine, pure-blood Irish.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
With a temper to match and red hair.
Very, very good.
Well, I'm not red hair. Well, no, I better be quiet about that since
He's a seasoned UFO researcher and founder of the Irish UFO Research Centre in the early 1970s. With a passion for uncovering the unknown, he produced historical documentaries on Ireland's pirate radio station for over 2 decades, inspired by the surge in UFO activity across the region during that time. Miles is the creator and driving force behind the BASIS project, which evolved from his early work with the Irish UFO Research Centre. This project gained significant attention after Barry King and Lisa Williams shared accounts of a secret underground base in Peasemore, Berkshire. So that's where we get the term programmable life forms. These type of grays were being developed. These groundbreaking interviews laid the foundation for British BASIS series and the BASIS project. As a pioneer in alternate media, Miles brings cutting-edge insights to a global audience through his YouTube channel. Is it YouTube? You're still on YouTube, right? I thought they might have cut you.
Well, yeah. Well, I've got 3 YouTube channels. It's called the BASIS Project Censored, just to rub it in, and the BASIS Project Restricted, just to rub it in. And then for newbies and people who don't know a lot of things, I've got a lot of old stuff, which some of it good old Montauk stuff I've uploaded as on stepping stones to awareness, and I put a lot of stuff on that from stuff on Egypt, for instance, which is a cutting edge thing where all of the Egyptian artifacts have encoded in them the rotation of the Earth's crust 12,500 years ago, and they're saying it's about to happen again.
Wow. So Miles, you document the stories on the other side of the pond here from the U.S., on the British side, so the UK. And so tell us, can you confirm that these we're getting similar experiences? It does. What I'm trying to allude to here is that you could be any part of the world and also experience the same phenomenon. These MyLabs, which are military abductions, and what else? MK Ultra, Monarch.
a lot of it happened here with basically the Barry King thing. His father in World War II was dispatched into the war zone as Germany collapsed to find things that they didn't want blown up and to find out what they were. And that's to say, the British found German labs making strange-looking humans. Now, they didn't call them aliens, but they found the labs that the Germans were experimenting on. And this comes up with all the outpost kind of stuff. So they found that we're making these strange-looking humans and also a strange aircraft. Didn't call it a space thing, and they didn't use alien. But Barry's father got sick. Some kind of a sickness came up on him. Then the Americans came in. But the bottom line is, while you got Werner von Braun and the Russians got their rocket scientists, and the Americans got 300,000 civil servants to administer the United States in the way it should be. Meanwhile, here in Britain, we got the mind control stuff, and we got the, you got it in the States as well. We got the mind control stuff and the genetic labs and a thing called the heel prick test, where they measure the DNA of the child and the mother at the same time. And then all the children in Britain and in the Republic of Ireland were tracked at birth. And then they knew which children they'd be interested in. And then they'd be taken from school. And that's where they got into the early super soldier program. And just to back up what Barry King was saying, I found from a completely different source that Britain had created their programmed beings for use on the lunar base. Excuse me, the lunar base, Britain's lunar base. So, I mean, all this stuff sort of came together. And then, of course, we had Burnworthy Manor, James Casbolt, Max, Sarah, Haley, Matt Todd, several other people you probably haven't heard of, Dave Marrow and all that. They were all trained up in Burnworthy Manor. And that's near the Blackdown Hills in the southwest of England. So that plus taking all the children from school and doing all sorts of stuff, you know, that's a real recipe for a mess. And then we have the BBC starting the day's programming for the children using mind control, Jackanory, luring you in. And then that little bit of children's program ended up with a thing called a magic roundabout, with a little thing little roundabout going, little song. So the very start of the day, the children are getting mind controlled with the BBC. And we don't need to mention people like Jimmy Savile, do we? I told you, James, not to mention Jimmy Savile. Anyway, so the whole mess that we're talking about is well and truly running on full steam in Great Britain. And the BBC would say, everything's fine. Nothing's happening here. Move along. And we don't want to talk about the statues at the broadcasting house. Anyway, that's
or the Tavistock Institute.
Yeah. So, James, it's really good to see you. And there's piles of I did a fast blast the other day. There's Elena Danan. Have you heard of Elena Danan? Have you heard of Danny Henderson and a gentleman called Michael Sala? They're appearing in a big fat conference here in a couple of weeks' time in Eastbourne. Nothing like bringing a really good old-fashioned seaside resort in little old Blighty. They call it Blighty, little old Blighty, Brighton, and the White Cliffs of Dover and all that. So that's all happening in a couple of weeks. So, and then you're happening in October, or we are happening in October. So the way is that okay, James?
Absolutely, yeah. By the way, she's also doing an event here in Charlotte, and it's only 2 miles away from my house. So I found that kind of interesting. But,
yeah, but James, does she know that?
Well, she might know it now. She might know it now. But the thing is,
God help her. Yeah, yeah.
I might get in trouble, get another
Yeah.
email from her. So
I
anyway,
think one of
we
the
send her love
one
and
of the
light
lovely
too.
things about Elena Denan is that she
Oh,
swears in Irish. You know,
oh my God, that's so
she
funny.
doesn't realize that
What does that sound like? No,
she's
don't tell
learned
me.
Irish English, which means she's friggin' doing this and friggin' doing that, and not realizing what friggin' really means. Anyway,
Okay, great. So there's lots of great events coming up. So
this is
head over-
product placement here.
yeah, check out Miles Fast Blast Deer. So that's part of the reason why we're doing this, because Miles forgot to mention the Super Soldier Con. But I
Yes,
want
I slap.
we're not slapping you too hard. We're loving you, Miles. So hey, everybody, go to supersoldiercon.com, purchase a ticket. What I like you to do is place there. I have an option to sponsor a speaker, because right now, Miles, because he lives in the UK, it's going to cost more money, and we are not backed by any sponsors. So Super Soldier Con is sponsored by the listeners, you. So if you would like to have Miles come to the event, you will let me know by going to Super Soldier Con, purchase a ticket, doesn't matter what kind of ticket, and also click sponsor a speaker. So that's $1,000, and that will help me make sure that we'll get that over to Miles and make sure everything's booked for him, and we're good to go. So
Well, it's a big honor, and it was great I've been going to the States for the UFO Congress since way back 1993, 94, and so it's a big thing to have that amazing amount of people, really cutting edge stuff. I think everybody feels that. Well, not obviously not everybody, but things got a bit stale because of, shall we say, uh, a particular organizational structure wishes to maintain control of the narrative. I think is that what we say? Do we say that, Jane?
yeah,
So there's a lot
control
more
the
going
narrative.
on, and it was at the Super Soldier Summit way back. That's 12 years ago. God damn it! Yeah,
Because there was another one, was it Glastonbury Ascension something? I saw your comment on there.
yeah. There's a Glastonbury thing happening this weekend, and it's done by what's called the Alternative View, which is a brilliant man called Ian R. Crane, pushed these really fancy conferences. You'd all book into a single hotel, and the thing was all the prices was all inclusive. But he was an oil man, and ex-oil man, and he got these really cutting edge speakers over, Cliff High, a lot of people from Australia, all over the world. David Dubine, really cutting edge stuff at a very high level, and that brought in another organization here in England called the UK Column. Now, the UK Column are a serious bunch of political journalists, and they've been running a really good ship that's 3 times live during the week. Hard politics, and they've just got some backing to go 5 days a week. And the UK Column co-sponsored the Alternative View, and it's a really good geopolitical group here in the UK. And Ian died of cancer. And right to the very end, Ian was in hospital having treatment. And because of the COVID situation, the hospital was obviously extremely busy. And he was one of only 8 patients in the hospital because nobody was getting sick. And he had operations about his cancer. It gave him another 8 months, but he was on literally the inside to see that this whole thing was a wind up. And we don't want to use too much more of that, but that's how serious that group is. So it's really good to see that, and it's really good to see Elena and Danny over doing something big here in the UK, because the Billy Carson thing, who took over a major big conference here, has all fallen apart, and that's bad news. Forget about the inside politics. That was a huge conference here in the UK, 2,000 people coming to it, 3 stages, and that whole thing fell apart. And that's bad news for the public. We don't need to talk about the inside politics, but we need to push this. And I do my Basis Project thing. I'm doing one at the end of June, and we try to bring cutting edge speakers, and then everybody else picks the ones I've got, and that goes into the other mix of conferences. So anyway, it's good to see you, and I hope I'll be able to get there and shock you with new information.
Thank you, Miles. And audience members, we will all enjoy listening to the latest news from the United Kingdom of the Basis series. And also, maybe we can see if we can get a message from James Casbolt. What do you
Well,
think?
I have no idea where James is. If you want to find out about James Casbolt, there's a really good guy called Bob Osborne, and he lives in Cornwall, and he lives in Zenner. And the reason why he lives in Zenner is because the Nazis, Aldous Huxley, all the usual suspects were all there. Some guy called Aleister Crowley, they were all doing stuff with the energy lines. The Nazis were there, they over a long period of time, and that's down where the two ley lines intermix. And the special energies down there was under investigation by what we call the technocrats. All those nasty people that have brought all our worst nightmares to us to this day were all operating down there, and for very good reason. So Bob Osborne's written a book called Zenner, Spirit of Place, and he shops in the same shop that James Casbolt's mother does. And Cornwall is a huge place. In other words, there's about 20 miles between the north coast and the south coast. And so that's James is pretty beaten up from his experience. So we're just, letting the guy settle, and he's going to be publishing his books through Bob Osborne's publishing company, Rebel Not Taken. That goes back to a time when you were a rebel. If you were taken, they literally strung you up in bits. His forefather was not taken, but because he didn't catch him, they awarded a title. He's a rebel not taken. So he has a publishing company doing that, and he'll be publishing James Casbolt's CD. I think I have it here somewhere. I could go and grab it if you want. I can't quite see it. James has published a CD, and you can get it from Rebel Not Taken. Bob Osborne's website. There's only a restricted number on that, and they're all personally signed. So we'll see if James is going to be around. He's just getting on with something legitimate, so to speak, writing his book and publishing his music, and just trying to make a bit of earn a living that way.
Wow, that sounds amazing. Well, it's good to see that he's still around. And
well, he's only been released. He's only out of license. I mean, he was released from Earlstoke Jail, just down the corner from here, maybe 5 miles down the road from here. No coincidence there, I'm sure. And he was released and then released into secure custody, basically to keep him from talking to the likes of people like me and you, James.
So he's under a gag order right now, or
he's now technically out of license, but you don't stir the pot. And he has had a rough time. It's not nice what's happened there. I have my own personal views on it. He served his time. Shall we say he's paid his debt to society? So let's give the guy some space, and let's see if he can, continue with his life unhindered and just getting on with things.
Well, thank you, Miles. So everybody, if you would like to learn more, go to supersoldiercon.com. Purchase a ticket. We've got general admission. We have a VIP pass, which includes the officer ball dinner. And then the VIP ticket includes all 11 meals.
I mean, I've got to wear a shirt and tie.
Yeah, if you want to. You don't have to. I put on there optional because somebody complained. They said they didn't want to dress up for Halloween. I'm like, well, it's just an officer ball, but
so Halloween. So I just come as I am then.
You can come as yourself, Miles. So and then so the VIP with 11 meals. We're also doing other parties. So I think we're going to do a Nasara party, maybe, and I don't know the last one yet. It's going to come to me, but
I suppose Francis Bacon could drop by. I didn't realize this guy was in the Francis Bacon Society. Where is it?
Yeah, I was a member. I joined. So back in the day,
I was a member of the Francis Bacon Society. I mean,
really.
That's practically nearest as close to God as you can get.
Yeah, I know. I remember sending them a check in the mail, like, well, we can't cash this because it's for the UK. So I don't know. I may have been the only member outside the UK, but back in the day, yeah, I was putting together a documentary about Saint Germain, Francis Bacon, King James, going back even further. So that
Actually, folks, it's actually quite good. He did a good job, but
yeah,
don't tell.
Yeah, I got 5 million views. So that one's called Changes on the Horizon. So, yeah, but so yeah, go to Super Soldier Con. Also, we have an early bird discount. I did extend that another month. So, and I think that pretty much covers it. So, everybody, thank you for joining us. Thank you, Miles. Any final comment?
Well, thank you, James. I think it's great that you're having a social interaction at these things, because with everybody using Zooms and God knows what else, everybody sat at home just looking at the keyboards. It's great to meet people and be involved, and that's great. Good fun.
Absolutely. By the way, I just remembered. So the hotel rooms are $109 a night. So that does include doubles. I did negotiate that down. And there's a link on the website to go to the group pass. So just go through that website, read everything. We need volunteers. There's links for everything, and you can find out and participate. So, okay. All right, everybody, goodbye. We're going to
cheerio. Ciao.
Yeah. I'm going to be back in another 10 minutes with Michael O. Sedona. So stay tuned for that. Don't go anywhere, everybody. We'll see you later.